G'day everyone, welcome back. First video in about 7 months. I haven't really had much time to work on the 40 recently. I was training last year for an Ironman, which is a pretty big undertaking. It's a 3.8k swim, 180k bike ride, and then a 42.2k run. So as training for that started getting busy, I started having less time for the 40 and sort of filming, so I just got a few other jobs done around the house and the shed instead. And then was busy over Christmas and back into it. So as you can see behind me, one of the big things I did over the last few months was I built a few benches. Give a closer look at those in a minute. As I said, just did some other things around the house, but I'm back and ready to get into the 40 and I've got a lot of work ahead of me, but I'm pretty keen to get stuck into it, especially coming into winter. Spent plenty of long nights working on this whole thing. Like I said, one of the important jobs was getting these benches made. So I've got one here and a small one over this side. Just made out of 2x2 RHS. Thought I'd do a half decent job and grind all the welds out and then give it a good paint in an epoxy. So yeah, as I said, topped and shelved in form ply, and then picked up just this old Dawn 115 vise, which will be good. As well as I bought another shelf just to keep some of the 40 stuff out of the way. Good example is just like all this glass and everything, just trying to keep that away out of the, somewhere where it's going to get smashed. Bit of the seats and everything up there, just somewhere to keep all the stuff nice and neatly out of the way. Another little thing I did do here and there was actually going down the chassis, giving it a tap with the hammer and sucking stuff out. There's quite a bit of flaky rusty shit in there, and there's one bit so far that I've found that'll definitely need a pretty decent repair. So I'll have to get stuck into there and see what we're dealing with as we get into it. But apart from that, everything else has actually been pretty solid. As I said, lots of little bits of flaky rust, but I haven't found anything else too sinister. Back over on this side here, I have found a fair bit in the rails along here. I've given it a good hit with the hammer through here and haven't found any soft spots yet. But I think I might find some somewhere just for how much rust was coming out, especially up around this side. But yeah, apart from that, it's not looking too bad. One thing that is interesting is now that you get a closer look at them, how these actually look. This is a factory piece of steel here that joins the two on the long wheelbase. I actually have done quite a bit of research on that, and it's most definitely factory on both sides. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's factory when you first look at it. You go, what the hell is this? It looks like someone's just had a rough go, but on the long wheelbase models, that's standard. All right, so I've taken some of the fuel lines off and the brake lines off, and some of the harnessing up the side. Thought it'd be a good opportunity while there's still some diffs under it, roll it out, give it a good hit with the pressure washer, and give it a bit more of a clean out, try and get some of that crud and shit that's been on there for the last couple of decades. And anyway, good afternoon for it, have a beer and off we go. Rightio, it's good giving it a bit of a wash yesterday. Clean some more of the shit out of the chassis. You can see there's a bit of work to be done, and over this side here actually it's not quite as bad as I thought it was. It's not great, but it has been worse. This is where I think all that flaky rust has been coming from through here. But give another hit with the hammer and see what I find, but I haven't found any really thin spots yet. I've just been taking the shocks off here and just split some of these ball joints at the front here, ready to swing this front diff out. Rightio, I've just hooked the crane around the front crossmember here just to get a bit of extra height that I can't really get with the jack. And just lift it up, chuck a few stands under it, and then swing this diff out. Rightio, with that sitting up there, extend it out, take the weight of the diff, and then hopefully knock those pins out and off we go. Rightio, I've knocked these two rear eye pins out. It's just the shackles next. Just got to knock those out, and out she comes. Oh well. That's the fast way to get the shackles out, just cut them. They'll obviously be getting replaced anyway, so, you know, I was already smashing the, as you probably saw, hitting on the ends of the threads, like whatever they're coming out, but just cut them for now, and I'll hit them out individually just to stop it. You know, the way it doesn't help that it's got different size tyres on and everything will just be all crossed up, so yeah, easy, let's wheel her out, eh? Forgotten brake line. Jeez, poor thing. This one through very much. I was just going to wheel it out this way. I did want to keep the wheels on it just because it makes it a lot easier to move around, just because of the weight of them. But considering I won't be doing too much of these for a while, might just pick it back up again, drop these wheels off it, and then just drop it down on one of those little skateboards, move it around the workshop that way. That'll probably be the easiest. Yeah, oh well. Should have thought first. Rightio, that's out. Just parked on the stands in the corner there for now to await some work. But yeah, that's out, which is good. One thing I will mention that you could probably see in the video there is with the old engine cranes, you got to really think about where you've got sort of access because of the way, you know, it's not just overhead. Like obviously you've got the arm there that can hit things, and then you've got where the legs are and what things land on the legs, and it's actually a bit of a pain in the ass. So you've got to really think about that. I've got caught out multiple times. Like even then, you can't just drop that on the ground sort of thing. It lands on the legs. Well, that's similar with most of the stuff, to be honest, that I've taken off, gearbox, all those sorts of things. But anyway, just something extra to think about. But yeah, just setting it up for doing the rear, which might be a job for tomorrow. Have a bit of a clean up here. And yeah. Rightio, it's another day here. Just taking the wheels off this rear diff. Was just having problems with the tipping point, even with the stands just here. Still wanted to tip backwards just with the weight of that diff now. So anyway, just dropped onto the stands like that. And yeah, we'll whip this diff out, and then, as we said before, it's almost back to nothing. Rightio, I've had a bit of a clean up since yesterday, and it's not much but a bare chassis now. A few small brackets to take off on that rear sway bar and bull bar, but time for a celebratory beer, because this marks ground zero. It's just the turning point. Once this everything from here should be relatively constructive, hopefully, rather than destructive, and can start putting it back together again and get it back to its former glory.